Welcome to Lucy the Antigua Tarot. My name is Lucy, and thank you for visiting. I do have your spread now for your reading for the month of April 2016. I have shuffled the cards, and these are the cards that have come out, okay? So let's look at your cards, my dear Leo. This is a 9-card spread, okay, which is I always do the 9-card spreads, and I always begin with the card in the middle because this is going to represent you or the energy that's like your base for this month, the energy that is at your base or at your foundation this month. And so you have the Page of Swords, espadas or swords. Okay, sota de espadas. Okay, that's the card that's at your center, my dear Leos. And then coming into your reading, the energy that's coming in, you have the Two of Wands, excuse me, the Two of Pentacles, okay, the Two of Pentacles, and then you have the Six of Cups, okay, and then you have the Nine of Pentacles, okay, and then on the second row you have the Seven of Swords, and then you have the Page of Swords, and then you have the King of Wands. Okay, and then at the bottom of your reading, the last row, the last 3 cards, you have the Knight of Swords, el Caballero de Espadas. Okay, you have the Two of Wands, and then you have the Ace of Cups. And my dear Leos, this is the Rider-Waite Smith tarot deck, and you've probably noticed by now that some of the cards have Spanish titles at the bottom because I bought this deck in Guatemala. So it is a Spanish deck, but not all the cards have the Spanish subtitles. Mostly it's the Major Arcana and the Court cards and the Aces. Okay, so let's begin with your center. Your Sota de Espadas, your Page of Swords. And this is a lovely card. As you can see, here's this young person standing in this lovely green field, and it's a beautiful day. Okay, you can see the mountains in the background and clouds, and the tree over here that looks like the wind's blowing, and you can see some birds flying up in the distance. Okay, so this is a wind and sword card. So the wind and the sword, so words, communication, okay, that's what the sword means, and the wind, the same, okay, something that comes, that flows with the air, like the words. Okay, now this card, if you look at the young man carefully, I don't know if you can see that, but let me see if I can pull him up a little closer and focus. He looks like he's pretty confident. Even in his posture, you can see how he's confident. So this card means overconfidence. Okay, so this could mean that you are feeling really positive about your abilities, what you can do, and you're feeling really confident and maybe perhaps a little overconfident. So Tarot is telling you to just be careful what you promise to do, okay? Because you might be feeling that you can just do just about anything. So all it's saying is just to be careful what you promise, because you might not be able to meet all your promises. It's also saying to be honest with yourself and be honest with your boss, for example, with yourself, Okay. Um, Make sure that, but mostly be honest with the important people that are around you. Make sure that they understand what you can and what you can't do. To not overpromise anything. Okay, so I think the underlying message for this card is don't overpromise and to be honest with yourself and to be honest with others. And also, sometimes when we're feeling overconfident about something or with ourselves, we um, we um, we assume that we pretty much are pretty familiar with a topic or that we know everything about a topic, and it's telling you to not to assume that you know more than what you really know. So to be humble, and it's also telling you to seek advice from the experts because this is a young energy. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that the person is young, but it could mean that this person, which is probably you, my dear Leos, maybe you are starting something new or working on something new, um, and you're learning, and you're feeling pretty confident, and you might be thinking that you can take on more than what you really can, and it's just telling you to be careful with that and to seek the advice from experts if you need. Okay, and that's the card that's at your center, my dear Leos. Now, this is a general reading. It might not resonate with everybody, but some things could resonate with you, some things could not. That's okay. Okay, let's go to your card that's coming in, which is the Two of Pentacles. Okay, now this is a really interesting card. You have this man, and he's trying to balance these two these two pentacles, and he's forming a figure eight, which is the symbol of eternity. And if you can see in the background, you can see these waves, these big waves, and these boats back there, and they're having a hard time balancing. They're managing to balance, but it's a difficult balance. And this is the energy that that is coming into your reading, Leos. So basically what this means is you're spending perhaps too much time. You are trying to balance too much at once. Um, there might be some things that are important to you that you are trying to stay in control of, but there might be other things that perhaps maybe they're not. So it's just saying to um, um, do your priorities, make sure you know what your priorities are, and it's really quite in sync with your with your center card, with the Page of Swords, right? That perhaps you have decided to take on too much. Maybe you promised to take on too much, and now you're feeling this way. Okay? And it says that if you take on a little bit more, this card could mean that if you're doing okay, you're managing to balance all the things you have to take, but perhaps don't take on any more. You might be at your brink. Okay, a little bit more, and everything's going to collapse, perhaps. So this is it's just telling you to be careful and to be aware of that. Okay. All right. So then you have your second card, which is the Six of Cups. Okay, and this is a beautiful card. It has six cups, one, two, three, four. There's a cup up here at the table, and then here there's two children, and the older child is giving a cup to the younger child. Okay, so this younger child could be you. Because what this is saying is that perhaps you are spending too much time thinking about your past. And not that there's anything wrong with thinking about the past, but perhaps you're thinking about the past and still wishing that things were like they were in the past when maybe things were simpler, they were happier times, and that maybe now you're feeling a bit overwhelmed trying to balance all the things that you have to do in your life. You know how it is with work, family, the shopping, taking the kids to school, managing a business. I mean, sometimes we have a lot on our plate. Maybe you're starting a new venture. So, this card really means that you are still daydreaming about you're thinking about your past. If it was a relationship, you're daydreaming about your ex. Um, and so the problem is that you are looking at your past from a negative point of view. Okay, so it's suggesting to you, my dear Leos, to stop looking at your past. In other words, it's okay to look at your past if you are let's see, um, if you are looking at your past to reflect on what happened, and that maybe there were some lessons to be learned, and that's perfectly fine. But if you're looking at the past and wishing to escape the present and not to confront what's going on, and then that's a problem because you're getting stuck. So it says to look to the future. Okay. All right. So this is your second card here. So, okay, so you're feeling overconfident. Perhaps you're taking too much responsibilities, but you're managing to balance your responsibilities in a good way, but it's just telling you to be careful. Okay, but at the same time, I'm thinking that perhaps you might be feeling a bit overwhelmed because you're getting this card here. Okay, the Six of Cups. All right, so then after your Six of Cups, you do have the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, this is a beautiful card. Pentacles mean money. All right, they can also mean material stability, and you have 9 of them. Okay, and it is a very positive card, Leo, so good for you. um, so it could be in relation to the fact that maybe someone just got a lot of money, or someone just got married, or someone had a baby. Something good has happened. Okay, maybe it's somebody you know, or maybe it's you. So it's a really positive card. It could mean to me, perhaps, that economically you're fairly stable, Leos. Okay, because um, this is a good card to get, and it is, money and material stability. Okay, and it is a positive card. It could also be in relation to your work, and maybe you're going to get a promotion, or maybe you're thinking of buying some property. So this card also is saying that that perhaps you have no worries really, and you have no debts. Okay, so that even though you are, here struggling to balance, and you're feeling a little frustrated, and perhaps maybe you are kind of like, you know, thinking how nice things were when, in the time in the past where everything was really great. But here it's telling me that you're getting this lucky card. So that maybe what it's trying to say is that this this balance of all these new things that you're doing in relation to a new project, or in relation to your work, it might pay off, and you will get a promotion. Okay, and that will lead to free worry and free debt. Okay, so it could be something along those lines. All right, now following that, on your second row you have the Seven of Swords, and this is a fairly it's before your Page of Swords. Okay, espadas, siete de espadas. So, swords indicate our words and how we use our words, but this is seven swords. It's not one sword. It's a lot of swords that you're trying to manage, and it's like under you know, your Two of Pentacles. You see, it's under your Two of Pentacles. It's crowning, ¿verdad? Two of Pentacles is crowning this card, the Seven of Swords, and they're kind of related. I think they're connected. As a matter of fact, these three, I believe, with the Knight of Swords, those three are connected. And what this one is really saying is that, look, you have a lot going on. You've got a lot of things to deal with. Okay. So it's saying to check your actions, to know what you're doing, to be clear, again, communicate clearly what your intentions might be. It's also saying to be discreet. In other words, maybe be careful what you say. Try not to say too much. And be subtle. Be subtle whenever you can, right now, okay, for this month. Now, I say for this month, the tarot, we say, okay, this is the reading for the month of April. And when I do shuffle the cards, I do ask, to have enlightenment brought to me through the cards regarding Leos for the month of April. But in terms of time, this energy could either have started in a month ago or a couple of months ago, and it's still lingering, or maybe it could be something that's going to be happening in the future, or perhaps it's happening now. But this is what the card means: to be clear and communicate clearly your intentions, be discreet and subtle whenever you can. It's also saying to keep some of your business to yourself. In other words, don't go around telling everybody what it is that you're doing. To be discreet. It's also kind of advising you to be aware of what is going on around you, my dear Leos. Okay, be aware of what's going on around you. Okay. And it is also saying that if you want to keep something secret, okay, and then make doubly sure that it stays that way. So be careful who you tell. Or you might get some news in confidence, which you'll need to keep to yourself. So it seems like to me that perhaps this could be related to your work. I think it's related perhaps to your work. Because here you have a young a person embarking on a new path, a new project, that is adding more. Perhaps you're embarking on a new project at work, and it's making it more difficult for you to balance it, but you're managing it to balance it. But it's telling you to be careful. Um, Say clearly what it is that you want, okay? And then here's telling you to be discreet. All right. And you are kind of perhaps feeling a little overwhelmed because you have been thinking about how simpler things were in the past. Okay, but it seems to me that from your cards that I'm seeing here that it's not anything really that's that bad. It's just like normal things that happen every day, right? In this reading, Leo. So I don't see any like really negative, intense negative energies. Okay. And as a matter of fact, this is a really cool this card, because this means beginnings also. Starting something new, having the energy, the desire, the inspiration, okay, the passion. So, but it's just kind of saying, okay, just take it easy though. But then you have the lovely card of the King of Wands that's following you right there. And the King of Wands is a lovely card. This is a wise and positive energy. And remember that here it told you to seek advice from an expert. Okay? Seek advice from an expert so that you can, you know, get a little better with your skills in terms of your work, because the swords do imply the things that we do every day to survive. Okay, and this is the king, so he has a domain of that activity, working every day to achieve goals. He's the king, so he's wise and positive, and he's going to come into your life. An advisor is going to come into your life. That's what this card is saying. So it says to seek him out. It's somebody who has authority. Okay, and it's also somebody who loves you very much, who really cares about you. So it could be somebody in your family or maybe at work, but this person has a lot of experience. Okay, so it's also, this card also means, Leos, that that you could become the king. You know, if you develop your talents, if you work on developing your skills and your talents, you could eventually become the king. Really nice card. I love this card. And the really cool thing is that it's right below your Nine of Pentacles, right? And that's also a really positive card. So you have two very, very positive cards here. You have the Nine of Pentacles, and then you have the King of Wands. Okay. All right. So, because the Nine of Pentacles is telling you that you could get a promotion. Okay. It's a very, very positive card. And with the King of Wands, it says you're gonna, you're gonna get an advisor. So you have these really two cool cards, that of stuff that's gonna happen in the near future for you, in terms of perhaps your work. I think this is in relation to work, most likely. But then this is a general reading, right? So that's what these cards are saying, my dear Leos. Okay, then you have the final three cards. The Knight of Swords, the Two of Wands, and the Ace of Cups. Lovely card. But let's look at the Knight of Swords. Okay, I love this card. It's so dynamic. Okay, so you can see that this knight is riding on his white horse very fast. And he's got his sword pointing up towards the sky. So this is like important news that's coming in. It's a news fast. It's coming in fast. It's an energy that's quick. It's riding with the wind. Okay, so something's going to happen out of the blues. It could be a trip, in relation to your work and the advice maybe that you will be getting. Okay, or in regards to the promotion that's showing up here with the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so you've been balancing all your work pretty good. That's the energy that's coming in. So, and now you might be getting this quick news. You might be getting or someone that's coming in, someone that maybe you have been waiting to see for a very long time, someone you know, perhaps. Okay, so if you have been waiting for something, or if you have been waiting for someone, my dear Leos, to show up, and this card is here, right here, okay, you're learning how to do all these things, and you've been, all these are all action cards. Okay, so you've been doing great. So something really great is going to happen, and it says to don't get discouraged, don't give up. that whatever it is that you're waiting for will come. Okay, and it'll come fast. Lovely, lovely card. And then beside that, you have the two of let me pull this up a little bit. Here we go. The Two of Wands. Okay, and here we have these two wands, and in his right hand he's holding a globe. And the globe really means his world. He's looking at his world, what he has achieved, okay? That's what he's looking at. And then he's also comparing that with what's coming in, because he's been working very hard, and he's not an apprentice anymore like you would be here. See, he now has a solid foundation, and he's still working on his project, or becoming more, I guess, career wise, more of a professional. Okay, uh, coming out of the apprentice era, step, and moving up the ladder. He's achieved more stability here in terms of professional growth, and perhaps stability, economic stability. And it is below your page, so it's a lovely card. And it's a wand, which is your King of Wands. See, they're connected. They're both wands. So that's really cool. Okay, and this card is about balancing your needs and your wants. So you're getting another card that's balancing, to balance. So that's two balance cards. But here it's saying to balance your needs and wants. So what is it that you really need? What is it that you really want? Do priorities. Think about what's more important. Okay, so balancing your needs and wants in relation to what you already have. And pay attention to the needs of others. Okay, here again, pay attention to the needs of others. And here it's like, be aware of what's going on around you. Make sure you express what you need, what you can do, what you can't do. Seek advice. Okay, seek the advice that's going to help you. All right, so there's a lot of positive messages that are coming in through these cards, Leos. Okay, so pay attention to the needs of others. Don't just think of yourself. Okay, that card also is saying, well, you're paying attention to the needs of others, then don't be selfish. Don't judge those around you by appearance only. Give people a chance. Okay, so it could be in relation to how this advisor is perhaps advising that you work with someone, and here maybe you're not too sure if you can. Well, it's telling you that maybe this energy came in too quickly, and you're still adjusting. Maybe this person showed up out of the blue, and maybe it's someone you know, and you're just getting used to the idea, and you're not too sure. It could mean that, not necessarily that you're being selfish. All right, and okay, this also means that you are ready to move on to the next step in terms of your profession, your career. And it's also that you have two paths, two options, and you need to decide which one. It could also be indicating for you to explore these carefully. Kind of like, be aware of what's going on around you. That's that there's that energy coming in too, in terms of just be aware of what they mean, these two different paths, before you make a decision. I think that's what that card means. It's a lovely card. It's got great advice. And then finally, coming out of your reading, you're coming out with a very positive card. It's a very good luck card. This is a good luck card. The Ace of Cups, As de Copas. See, a cup is being extended to you from the forces of the universe. Okay, so it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful card. And then it also means new beginnings, new friendships. Okay, um, you will regain your confidence because even though you were overconfident here, okay, something happened. All the work, all the responsibility, balancing, and then here, having to be discreet, check your communication. Something happened here, and getting used to this energy that came in quickly and that you're having to balance it perhaps. So this is like saying, you know, you're going to regain your confidence, you will be getting recognition. And again, it's telling you to express yourself. Express yourself. Say what you're feeling. So this is a wonderful card. Be honest and caring. And it's saying that you love your work and that you might find love at work if you're single. It also could mean emotional fulfillment because water is emotions and cups too. So you could be getting emotional fulfillment because of your work. That there's nothing better than to have work really hard, and you have been working really hard because these cards indicate that you have been working really hard. You've been trying to be discreet, pay attention to everything that's going on, balancing all the different things that are coming in, and now you're here and you're going to be getting your recognition. You've learned to express yourself. Okay. And when that happens in the work, one feels very emotionally satisfied. It's great for our emotional stability. And this is what it's telling you. So, stability, you're coming in trying to balance the energies that are coming into your life, trying to find stability. And here it's telling you that you are going to have stability, Leos. Okay? Balance, trying to balance everything that's going on, trying to find that stability. That's the energy that was coming in to your reading. See? And here it's telling you that you are going to find a stability, and this is the energy that's coming out. Okay, my dear Leo, so this is your reading for the month of April of 2016. It's a wonderful reading. I wish you guys a wonderful month of April with lots of love and happiness next to the people that you love. And peace, lots of peace. Okay? And until next month, take good care. Bye bye.